Today, I'm in China to talk directly with an 8-figure seller who gives us the inside scoop on what's happening over there and why Chinese sellers envy sellers from the US and Europe, and why you might have to worry less about black hat tactics from China. How cool is that? Pretty cool, I think. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Serious Sellers Podcast by Helium 10. I'm your host, Bradley Sutt, and this is the show that's a completely BS-free, organic conversation about serious strategies for serious sellers of any level in the e-commerce world. All right, we are back here in Shenzhen, China, and we've got a seller we're going to talk today, and his name is Bennett. Bennett, how's it going?
Hello, I'm Bennett. I'm Shenzhen seller.
All right. Now, Bennett is not confident with his English, so we've got Freeman here from Helium 10, our Shenzhen office here, who's going to be translating. Freeman, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, everyone. Nice to meet you guys.
Okay, so now let's get into Bennett's backstory. Where in China were you born and raised?
Chaozhou is a city like 300 kilometers from Shenzhen.
Okay, all right. And where did you attend university?
Guangzhou,
What did you study?
advertising.
Advertising, okay. Well, when you graduated, did you start working at all in advertising?
After graduation, so he started his own business. Yeah, it's a one that's selling snack products. Yeah, domestically in China.
Okay, interesting. What year was this about?
2017.
2017. When did you discover Amazon?
It's same year. Yeah, 2017.
And what was the first product you launched on Amazon?
It's the cleaning stuff. Yeah.
How did that product do?
Yeah, it succeeds. Yeah.
Okay. Are you still selling those same products today?
Yeah, it's still selling. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is this your main brand?
Yeah. One of the main category. Yeah, and he has a partner in this category, so they have jointly launched this business to make more than 100 million Chinese yuan. Yeah.
So in US dollars, his best year of sales, about how much gross sales is it?
15 million US dollar. Yeah, 15.
15 million. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's very popular. Is that only one brand or that's more than one brand?
Yeah, only one brand and all global marketplaces.
How can we find this brand on Amazon? What's the name?
Yeah, it's the JEHONN, the brand. Yeah, brand name.
Okay, and it's all cleaning supplies or it's different products?
Yeah, cleaning and all home stuff. Yeah.
What year did you discover Helium 10?
2021.
2021. How did you find out about Helium 10? Not many people in China know about Helium 10.
Another seller recommended it. Yeah.
Okay. What is your favorite tool that you use in Helium 10?
Market Tracker 360.
Okay. How do you use Market Tracker 360?
Yeah, it's a long story. So he used to, to calculate the market size of a niche market. Yeah, and also to find the trends of this market and understand the market share and the market ranks in this niche market. And they can spot, many, new brands and some new opportunities in this market. So their product development strategy is highly, reliant on those analysis on new opportunities. So in the next year or the next product launch, so they spot those opportunities. And then they can exactly know how many sales they should make to hold that marketplace.
So what's an example of like a product they launched where they used, Market Tracker 360 and an example of something that made them say, yes, we want to do this, but maybe another example where they looked at the data and they're like, you know what, this is not good for us.
Yeah. So there was a case that is the Christmas artificial flowers. People use that for Christmas decor, and in the previous year, they have been spotted an opportunity that is they found a brand that is selling large size Christmas flowers. Yeah, it's like 48 inches to 60 inches. But in that large size Christmas flowers, there's not much competition there. So in the following year, they also tried to launch that large size 48 inch Christmas flowers, and then successfully made 500 $1,000 in that season. Yeah, for that product.
Okay. What about an example where I mean, if he knows the exact example, that's great. But what about an example of where they looked at the market and it stopped them, and maybe it saved them from losing money because of something they saw?
Yeah, they have another brand that is for the e-bike. The brand name is Free Sky. So they have been, find out that in the US marketplace, Amazon, the whole market trend is not growing anymore. But they find out that in the Canada marketplace, Amazon and it still keep growing. So they just help them to adjust or rebalance the resources to Canada from American, and then help them. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Now, thinking back in general, something that a lot of American sellers are always thinking, oh, every Chinese seller is doing black hat, tactics. Is that true?
Yes, it is. Really, yeah, interesting because recently he's trying to expand the team, so he interviewed a lot of candidates. Actually, almost half of those applicants are, trying to find the, roles for the for the hacks. Yeah. Almost half. Yeah, from Shenzhen. Yeah.
Okay, all right. No, so then American sellers, it's more dangerous for them to do black hat strategy because they can get kicked off and they don't have so many other accounts. Like a lot of Chinese sellers, they can do these things. How can American sellers compete with Chinese sellers who can do these black hat strategies? Is it possible?
He made a point that he thinks that for the black hacks, actually there's will be less and less space for them to grow or succeed. Yeah, because what he witnessed is that the Amazon is always changing the policies and trying to get those bad behaviors out. For example, they have stricter verification of the accounts. They have to for the video verification of the business owner. And also recently we also noticed that the review share policy has been also changed. So he thinks that the future competition will not compete with those, black hacks, but those Chinese sellers who has been committed to the good product and to the branding, to the marketing. So those all compliant sellers will have more and more opportunities.
Okay, so Market Tracker 360, his favorite tool. What's his second favorite tool in Helium 10?
Search query analyzer.
How are you using the data from Search Query Analyzer? First, what are you looking for in the tool? And then what strategy are you implementing because of what you see there?
Okay, so first I think that this tool is very highly efficient because it's AI powered. So I can actually through this tool to have a full picture of the traffic structure of my products. Yeah. So in this process, actually, we can find those, for example, high conversion rate keywords, and also the tool is very good to structure or organize those keywords into different groups. And he told me, what should we do to those keywords? Should we increase bids? Should we, put more advertising budgets on that? So this is highly efficient and save me a lot of time to, optimize my advertising and the whole, listing SEOs or something. Yeah.
Before Search Query Analyzer tool was released, was he using the search query performance data just by going to Seller Central, or this was the first time he started using this data?
Yes, because of the search query analyzer, then we put a lot of more time on looking at those data. Yeah, previously we actually rarely go to Seller Central to search for this search query performance data. Yeah.
Why didn't he do it before?
I mean, I'm assuming it's because it takes so long, to do it. So you have to download the report one by 1 week, like 1 month. So yeah.
Yeah, we used to download all those data. Yeah, but we actually not have many ideas how to analyze those data. So we haven't found any, interesting findings from those downloaded data. So this actually is to broaden our views to how to analyze and use those data. Yeah.
I want him to think about 3 unique strategies. Doesn't have to be Helium 10 related, just anything in general, because obviously to get to $15 million, not everybody can do it. And if you're just doing the same thing as everybody else, it's not going to get to that level. So what would he say is the top 3 things that he thinks is some unique thing, big or small, that his team is doing that allowed him to reach this success?
So the first, I think, one of the important factor is that we have deeply, collaborated with our logistic company. This is a manufacturer and it's a factory. So that's make sure that our product development can be very quick, and also we can make sure our product quality is much assured. So I think this is the first factor. So the second thing that I think is that we are patient. Yeah, because we always, be compliant. We never try those black hacks. So our, account, our brand is always safe and stable. So we don't have to, wake up at midnight or something. Yeah. So and the other thing is that also we keep a global perspective. So we trying to expand our brand, our product, not just in the United States. We expand to the global marketplaces, including Europe, Japan, and also other marketplaces. Yeah. The third factor I think is that our operational strategy. So always we only make data-driven strategies. We use a lot of tools, including Helium 10. So like I said before, that we used Helium 10 to spot new opportunities, and also we spend a lot of time to download advertising data, and also make use of other tools to help us to analyze those data, and based on the data analyzed, we optimize our PPC, our marketing strategy. This make us success.
Okay. I'm assuming maybe he started in Amazon USA and then expanded to other marketplaces. If there's other brands out there who are only selling in Amazon USA, which country would he suggest entering, like that has a very good potential on profit?
Brazil.
Brazil?
Yeah.
Why?
Why I'm saying that is because Brazil is a big market. They have 300 million population, and also this market is place is blue ocean. Yeah, we have a lot of opportunities here, and the entry barrier to Brazil actually, to be honest, is high. But this just where the opportunity lies. For example, actually from China shipping to Brazil, it takes around $70,000 for a container. It's very high. Yeah, the shipping cost is very high. But recently, we are also exploring with other sellers. We are trying to get more containers so we can actually lower the cost by half. And then actually, we can have a lot of more opportunities there. Yeah, because competition actually is comparatively low in the Brazil marketplaces. So if the Amazon seller, they are very successful in the US marketplace, and they have they want to take some risks, I think Brazil will be a good one, yeah.
Are you using Helium 10 ads to manage your Amazon advertising?
Yes, I like Helium 10 ads a lot. And actually, specifically is the AI advertising. Actually, now around 30% of our advertising spend has been, managed by the AI advertising of Helium 10.
How do you decide which campaigns you want on the AI advertising, or which campaigns you're making just your own rules in ads for?
Yeah, mostly for new product launch, we usually take the control by ourselves. But for some mature or already growing products, we can let the AI to manage them and help us to trying to find more new traffics. Yeah. From our observation that ad advertising of Helium 10, is very good at those auto campaigns. We find that auto campaigns of the AI advertising are just performed very well. But in those, manual keywords, campaigns, I found that there are still something to improve. So we, doing more time on that part. Yeah.
When he uses AI advertising, about how much time and money does that save? Because obviously if they're not using AI every day or once a week or whatever, they're having to have an employee actually go in there and make manual adjustments. So what's the time savings, the AI versus what they used to do?
Yeah, actually, we have a lot of experience in this question. Yeah, first, actually, AI advertising is save us a lot of time. Yeah, actually, we already put, like I said, 30% of our ad spend on AI advertising. So our our staff can spend more time on other things like product development or some things. Yeah, and we also find out that for some products, the AI advertising actually have a lower equals than our manually do. For example, some products AI advertising can keep the equals at 25%, but our the PPC team, our staff for manual work is like 30%. But actually, there is still an exploration. For some products, AI advertising is not as good as our manually managed campaigns. But for those campaigns, we also it's a good thing because we can decide how many budget to allocate to those different products. That's a good thing. But for now, I think I still have a lot expectations for AI advertising from Helium 10. It's very good. Yeah, we already have 30% of the ad spend. But yeah, I'm expecting that they have more features because now we are saying that auto campaign is doing good, but the keywords are still have to be improved. And also now Amazon, the whole website, the whole algorithm is not just keyword based. Now it's also they have launched AMC, so it's more audience based, and also Amazon itself also launched some AI features. They invited us to do some beta test. We find that some of their AI capabilities are very good. Yeah, especially in the keyword levels. So we want to say more good product features from Helium 10. Yeah.
Walk us through your new product strategy. All right. First of all, how do you find a new product opportunity? What do you do to find the right keywords? How are you making the listing? What is your launch strategy? Are you sending outside traffic? Are you doing low prices, coupons, high PPC bids? How are you making sure a new product, new launch is successful?
Okay, yeah. So first, I want to talk about how we, find those new products. Yeah, we run a lot of, test launch. So we send small batches, and also we look at the data of the previous sales of our products. We trying to, understand why some of the products are just selling good. Is there any specific elements that make it a success, or just from the customer feedback? What kind of features that maybe just hit the trend? For example, for our e-bike category, we found out that there are some trends that become more popular. For example, two motors, and also the wider tails make it more popular. So we actually take those trends, and also we trying to look at more resources, or look from a wider places to get the trends of those products. For example, the supermarket, we went there to find those good products I mean the home category. Yeah, for the good designs, we also paying attention to that. And also for some products like the flowers or something, we turn to Etsy to find interesting products. So we're trying to learn what kind of elements make them so good. So this is how we find or run our first round of the product research. We have a whole system of how to launch a successful new product. Yeah, first, we very care about the listings, including the pictures and also the A+ content. So we for every new product launch, we have to make sure every listing are promotion ready. So we find a lot of influencers, for example, help us to make very professional videos for our product. So once the listing is really ready, so we will to have a whole marketing strategy. So first, we never do low price or something. Actually, we are trying to make use of the honeymoon period for new listing. So in this period, we only allow for 1 month. Yeah, in this 1 month, we will spend a lot of advertising. The budget. Yeah, we use sponsored products, sponsored brand, and also sponsored brand video for those campaigns to try to harvest as many new keywords, new traffic for our listing as possible. Yeah, but actually, most of our spend still, has been spent on sponsored products, like 70%, and the other 30% will be on SB or SBV. Yeah, and then besides that, we're also, trying to, contact some of the, influencers, the alternate resources. We also ask them to make some promotions, and also we use the program like the Amazon creators to also help us to promote. And usually within 1 month period, the Amazon platform will recommend us to any lightning deals. We will definitely participate in those lightning deals and trying to get as much sales and as much keywords to our listing as possible.
All right, so you've mentioned Market Tracker 360 and also Search Query Analyzer. Any other Helium 10 tools your team are regularly using, and how are they using it?
Yeah, thank you. You reminded me of another, the highly frequent used tool is Cerebro. Yeah, and also one, data metric I want to, mention here is that because it's the core of our, advertising strategy, that is CPR. For maybe many sellers who don't know that, it's actually give us a number that for each keyword, how many, sales we have to make in 8 days to get that product to list in the top half of that keyword. Yeah, search. Yeah. So why this one is important? Because Amazon is still keyword based. Yeah. The search traffic is most important to the success of each product. So in our advertising strategies, first thing we have to figure out which keywords we have to select. Yeah. To in different phases, we should how many budget we should spend on each keywords, and which keywords are the most either one to get listed in the top of the search. So based on CPR, yeah, and also by referring to the conversion rate and the CPC, we can actually make very specific and accurate plan for each different keywords. It's just like one bed after another. Yes, one kid after another. We spend budget on those keywords, and then we will have higher search volume or higher CPR products. It's actually very important because it saves us a lot of money. For example, if there's a keyword, we spend a lot of money, we get a lot of sales, but that sales is not enough to make it to the top of the search. Actually, this is not a good strategy.
What's the future hold for your brand? What's your goals for the future? And maybe I come back here in 2 years. What would you like to be able to tell me about what you accomplished?
Yeah. I like this topic. Yeah, it makes me excited. Yeah, it's making me excited. So first I will give you a number. Yeah, I want to after 2 years I want to increase our sales, the general revenue. I want to reach to 50 million. Yeah, it's 50 million. So it's like 3 times increase from now. Yeah, how to make that? Actually, we have a vision that we want to expand globally. Yeah, for example, new markets like the Brazil I mentioned, the Latin American like the Argentina, Colombia, and all those markets we want to have a try. Yeah. Secondly, we also making investment, also making exploration to other marketplace or channel. For example, our our own D2C website. In the February, our e-bike brand have make 1 million sales as the revenue. Yeah, in the February. So we are excited about that. Yeah, and we also want to open an office in America so we can operate locally. So maybe in 2027, our next episode, I can meet you in the United States.
All right. Well, I wish you the most of success in the future.
祝你成功。
Thank you.